call me honey. If you please, just call me baby. I'll be your fantasy. I need your loving. I can guarantee I'll be what you need. Just call me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Song 43, a podcast for those of you looking to get a deeper look at how this creator creates while being a mom, working full-time, and doing all the things. It's my birthday. That's right. It's my birthday. 45 years old. Song 43 is not going to be Song 45, but whatever. Here we are. This week's episode is going to go back all the way to 2020, mid-pandemic. I interviewed my friend and professor and genius. Well, he wasn't my professor, but he is a professor and a genius at Berklee, Enrique Gonzalez Mueller. We had so much fun. I'm going to put it in YouTube. So if you want to see me 4 years ago when I was still all bright and sunny and had short hair and was not knowing how long this flippin' pandemic was going to last, then check it out. But otherwise, just take a listen to the brilliance that is EGM, one of my favorite people. He is wildly entertaining, and we learned a lot. We talked a lot, and we talked about like really random things, which if you know Enrique, you know that the conversation can go anywhere at any time. But between you, me, and the candle, we had a fantastic conversation about all things music and a impromptu trip to Providence, of all places, and just listen in and learn about this incredible soul. I love that you're here. We just kind of jump right in and start it off, and we talk about a podcast that it was, okay, Song 43, quick aside, was going to be called Songs from the Everyday. And the initial concept was that I would take an interview with a person from any walk of life and then create a song. Well, guess what? That's really flippin' hard. Maybe someday that'll happen. So when you hear me talk about songs from the everyday, that's what we're talking about. But we jump right in and we get silly. So I'm going to stop talking and let you listen. All right, let's dive in. Oh, here we go.
It's an oldie, but it's such a goodie.
It's so darn catchy is what it is.
Yeah, it just sticks to you, like drilled in there.
Well, why you got to steal my thunder? This is called Songs from the Everyday. Now you just like did the song. So now I don't have anything else to do. So that's great.
It was great to see you. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay, signing off. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's done. In the can.
Took
Rolling
longer
out.
than I thought, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, God. So how many classes are you teaching?
Are you sitting down?
I am standing, actually, at a standing desk. I'd be down here.
Okay. Well, try not
So
to fall.
I'm gonna stay up here. Okay. I'm holding on.
Yeah. I teach 9 different classes. So it's not 9 sections. It's 9. So So it's a lot of material. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. But I've done it for years now. It's the thing that at Berklee on campus I do 7, but then I do the master's, the production master's online, and that's 2. And that's the minimum, Laura. Sometimes it balloons out to like 11.
How would that happen? Isn't it fixed? Like, how does that balloon?
The balloonage happens because on campus, there's when you're a full-timer, it's 7 sections, and that's it. You're locked down for that. But online, it's whatever you want, and they give you. So I am I'm the program director of the masters, and I authored 2 courses. So there's no way around not teaching them, and I love them. But the balloonage happens because sometimes there are just many sections of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Balloonage sounds uncomfortable and unnecessary.
Yeah. Especially now we're walking and moving around is not so much. Balloonage,
Yeah.
it gets in the way, but
I hear you.
so good. It's all stimulating stuff. It's an intense juggle for sure.
What are the ones that you wrote that you love? that you designed?
I count my blessings because for my personality, I love teaching things that are core that maybe other people wrote back in 1932. But
Right on.
but I get to teach in the master's. I teach 2 courses that I wrote, and in the undergraduate, I teach 3 courses that I also authored. So 3 of the 4 I wrote. And the ones in the master's, to answer your question, I have a course called Maximizing Emotion, which is a production course. And
Maximizing emotion?
Yeah.
Tell
So
me, how does one teach or do that? I need to know all the things. I guess I have to sign up for the course, but just give me like the on how to maximize emotion. Wow.
And I just gave you like the one flight staircase name because it's longer. And I'm glad you're standing up because it's called music production. Maximizing emotion through performance, arrangement, and sound. That's the whole
Wow.
name. Yeah.
I need to
And
take that course.
it's a doozy. It's a good one, but basically it's a course that starts out very, very, very philosophical. What's the point of music? As in, it goes from that macro to then, okay, if an author wrote a song, why on earth would they need another external being telling them to change it in order to make it quote unquote better? So it explores that conundrum, and then it goes to explore the limitations of our medium. So yes, we deal in sound. How do we express through sound? What are the tools that producers have? And then it gets right into the nitty gritty of choosing how the choice of, say, a kick and a snare pattern completely affect and dictate the pulse and energy of the song. How does tempo and key choice, then it goes to recording, kind of decoding things like, how can we decode overdubs? Like, what's the point of an overdub? Because
What's
so
the existential reasoning behind overdubs? Discuss.
Yeah, and I hold myself to it because let's say that you have a band, Laura, and it's you have a drummer, a bass player, a guitar player, keyboard player, you're singing. Why do we need a conga part? Why are we a pad? There isn't a pad person in the band.
Right.
There isn't a conga player in the band. So why on earth? Give me your justification as to why we're overdubbing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it tries to break everything down, every little bit of sonic pixelage that we put in there. You need to justify it. You need to say, this is the reason why we're adding, taking away, which on the flip side is your chorus doesn't quite hit as hard as you want it to. Let's go explore all these tools that we've decoded so that you can try to do what you're trying to, what you want it to do.
Yeah. So we can get it to sound more gooder. Yes, let's do that.
In essence.
Okay.
So that's one of the two. It's pretty heady, and but it's also super hands-on. And then there's another one called Creative Recording and Editing Techniques, and I love that one too because it's, let's go record drums. Here is how traditionally people approach recording drums. Here's flavor A, flavor B, flavor C, and then a third of the course is trying to sabotage that
by giving them tricky situations or lacking the right gear or tools or
all of it.
Nice.
So if we were to record your vocals and we go, okay, cool, this SM7B that we have here is great because of this and this and this. It's a great choice for singers.
Podcasting.
Totally. Like, and I had thoughts of being in the studio with James Hetfield from Metallica, like wanting to hold the thing and scream into it. Perfect. But how about if instead you must cut vocals? You must cut vocals, and all you have is your laptop.
Wow.
Or how could we grab a beautiful SM7 and turn it into something that sounds grungy and gritty and kind of take the nature out of it?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's that trying to kind of, here's the traditional standard stuff, and now let's go mangle it to death. And then it does the same thing. Yeah, and then it does the same thing with editing. So here's, oh, your singer needs a little bit of tuning correction, and then let's take that to the super mega exaggerated, stylized. What can we do with tuning tools? Yada yada.
Gotcha. That sounds very fun.
Hmm.
All right, so let's take a step back, and you need to tell us who you are first, because we didn't even do that.
Oh darn!
So, I mean, I could just say person X, and they can let people try to figure it out based on the course descriptions. It could be like a scavenger hunt.
Okay.
We could be decoding podcasting,
Very, very good.
guessing the guest.
So here in this country,
yes,
I am known as Enrique Gonzalez Mueller. But in my home country of Venezuela, people call me Enrique Gonzalez Mueller.
Yes, and that was exactly why I asked you to do it instead of me, because I remember at lunch when you said that exact thing, I was like, yeah, I'm going to need that. I'm going to need to know those two distinct personalities, you know?
It is all good. You know, I can, and we can have this podcast like this, or I can also try to channel my mother and speak to you like this as well. Only my Venezuelan roots, I can also do that.
That's great. I think she should make a cameo several times throughout this exercise.
Okay, fine. No problem.
No problem. I love her already. Oh, man. So how did...
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you? Who are you?
I know. I'm trying to figure this out, but as far as I can tell, I, as some of you might know, some of you might not know, deep, deep music lover, which chose the slippery, adventurous, great business of producing music for a living, recording stuff, mixing stuff. So I've been a producer, engineer, mixer, arranger, composer for many, many years. And done a ton of stuff here in the States, but also have done a lot of things in Italy, have done a lot of things in Venezuela, where I am from.
Are you from Venezuela?
I am from Venezuela. In the last 8 years or so, I have been faculty at the music production and engineering department at Berklee College.
That's exciting stuff.
But, you know, for real, human, music lover, food lover. That's it.
Brilliant. I want to talk about your project that you unwittingly started. It's not even really a project, but your adventure of just driving in a different direction from Boston, because you were kind of like, you know, Boston kind of sucks. So I'm going to go drive for 2 hours. What is it? 2 hours? And see what I find.
What happens? Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
That's a podcast in and of itself, really.
Yeah. So, but it's literally that. So I moved from San Francisco to Boston, and San Francisco, I was there for about 13 years. And when I moved there, I thought, yes, this is my tribe. These are my peeps. And then, totally. And then Berklee called, and the opportunity sounded great. But since I had lived in Boston already, I thought, but I don't know so much about this city. Though, you know, it doesn't feel so much like my tribe.
It's cold.
Yeah, there's that snow thing. But I decided, you know what? I need to make myself uncomfortable. I need to grow. So I was kind of living almost like a retired person when I was in San Francisco, a little too comfy.
Wow.
So I decided to come here, and the gig at Berklee is so intense that the first year it was just totally consuming. But the second year I had a moment to go, wait a minute, where do I live? Where am I? Where is this? Oh, look. Yeah. What is this place? And I found out that I was not super happy.
Gotcha.
Because you know, I'm not saying that it is bad at all. I'm saying that I have a personality that doesn't quite gel with kind of the idiosyncrasies and the rhythm of the place. So then that second year was rough. And then the third year, I told myself, but what happens if you get in your car and you drive away?
Away. I love that.
Away, yeah, for an hour or two. And then I remember hopping in my car and driving south. And then I stopped at a thing that looked like a city, and it turned out to be Providence.
I love that. It's pretty cool. Providence, there's like a ton of cool meanings that could be taken from driving and winding up there. But anyway, that's a different story.
So I arrived at Providence, and the first place that I stepped to was an awesome cafe called Bolt. And I'm a coffee roaster as well. So I
Okay.
went there, and the people could not be nicer. The coffee could not be better. The place could not be more beautiful and kind of welcoming. And I spent, I swear, 2 hours just there, just feeling good, talking, having this great conversation with the barista. And after 2 hours, I'm going to go pay, and I did not have my wallet. I left my wallet in Boston. Yeah, and I started, the blood just drained out of my body, and the barista just looked at me and goes, "Dude, I know you'll be back. You can get me later."
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
And I just said, "Can I marry Providence right now?"
Can we just make it official?
Yeah. And that, then I started exploring the city, and I loved it. And I kind of found that little hub to go to. And I just really felt resonance with the place. And then maybe 4 months later, well, what happens if I drive an hour in the opposite direction? Yeah. And then boom, I get to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is awesome. And then, you know what? Let's kick this up a notch. And how about if you drive 2 hours?
Whoa.
And then Portland,
Yeah.
Maine.
Portland, Maine is pretty legit. I'm a big fan.
Laura, I'm not going to fight you on that one. I'm just
No,
going to
it's
agree.
delightful. Yes.
Yeah. The people are super cool. The food is awesome. The coffee is also great.
Mm-hmm.
But then, to put a bow on this, one thing that I discovered, which was awesome, was what happens if I drive an hour left?
Oh, left.
Yeah, aka west.
Yes.
And I started discovering things like Lowell, Massachusetts, and Lawrence, Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
and Brimfield, Massachusetts, and loved them, actually.
Nice.
And Lawrence, yeah, there's so much kind of color and grit and personality on its own, and different cultures that come together, and that I really enjoyed. So in a way, it's not Massachusetts. Also, I've discovered a lot of cool things. So yeah, coming from San Francisco, if you drive an hour anywhere, you're still in the city because traffic is bad
Right.
or awful. But if you want to get to Arizona, it's like, yeah, I'll see you in 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Not a whole lot of places. That's I mean, I'm from Connecticut, and my dad grew up in Mass, in Fitchburg, and I went to school in Boston, so like this is home base, and I think I kind of took for granted the fact that I could get in my car or take a train and be in Manhattan, in less than 2 hours, or Boston in less than 3 hours, skiing in a couple hours, that was just like normal. So then when I moved out to Chicago for freshman year of college and was like, what is this massive place? But it's just so different. You can't just be in a different state in 3 different states in an afternoon. So it's a pretty cool place to be.
Yeah. And one thing that it made me also appreciate is I do see a through line of New England.
Yes.
And that through line for me, some of the characteristics that I've come to really love with time is that there is more grit. It's harder to survive here, whether navigating the cities itself and how they're constructed. All of these things kind of give people, I've come to appreciate how practical it makes
Yeah.
people, and
And
how
resourceful. Darn
that
resourceful.
totally, that as well. So, if somebody's doing something that is passion driven, like say music or food, you see that it's not easy, and it's not like, oh, I'm part of this clique now. It's, man, I'm the only, say, coffee roaster for miles and miles and miles away. So I'm not doing it because it's a scene. I'm doing it because I really love it. It's harder.
Mm-hmm.
So that I've come to really love about New England, which all of these places share.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
It's definitely its own flavor. I mean, after living in Nashville too, where it was just kind of like being
Oh,
complete Yankee. I mean, that was called out on that all the time. And it's funny because Connecticut doesn't really have an accent, but they'd always just be like, "Where are you from? You're not from around here," and joking
wow.
with me forever. Yeah, I was there for almost 7 years,
I've
and
never been, so I'm super
oh,
curious.
I mean, not in a bad way. They were just kind of ribbing me or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I should go visit and just talk to them with my Venezuelan accent.
Yes, absolutely.
They will be very welcoming to me.
They
Maybe.
would. Nashville's great. It is seriously a great town. Yeah, one of my faves. But Boston is too. I mean, I lived there and I used to go there all the time. Now my kids love going there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, mainly for the hotel swimming pool. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's really, we could take them to like Fairfield, Connecticut, and they'd be like, "Is there a pool?" I mean, it's really, as long as there's a pool, it's epic, But no, they like Boston. We did all the things. We went on a duck tour. We had a duck tour guide named Paprika, and she was wearing hand painted overalls with the duck on the overalls. And
birth certificate, Paprika.
yeah,
What's your name? My name is Rosemary. No, really, Paprika.
She owned it. She was saying how she was an original member of Salt and Pepper, but she was too spicy, so they. And the girls were like riveted. They don't even know who Salt and Pepper was, whatever. They're just kind of like, wow. They still talk about paprika, not paprika, paprika.
Got it.
She made a lasting impression, and the duck tour was quite desired. It was delightful. I mean, I don't do touristy things in cities that I live in or have lived in, but it was fun.
But now this is good, Laura, because now you're sparking my curiosity, because I've never been on a duck tour, and just imagine to perhaps bump into Paprika.
You need to go to the one by the Marriott Long Wharf, like down by the aquarium. That's where you can get on. There's several spots, I guess. It's not cheap, but you learn all kinds of things. It's worth it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would, you got to find Paprika though. She was really good.
Yeah. Paprika or bust. Yeah.
Put up the sign, just stand out in line, be like, paprika or bust. She's gonna be like, what the? Anyway, she was very entertaining.
Excellent.
Yeah, we did that. We did the Children's Museum. Anyway, it was a good time. And then the pop-up beer garden that was there. What the heck was that brewery? Yeah, see, I don't drink beer, really. It takes up too much space. It's filled better with whiskey and or vodka. But it was fun. Oh,
I can imagine. I have about a beer every month and a half.
That's a very particular timeline.
It is, but
does a buzzer go off like a month and a half?
Yeah, it's been a month and 3 weeks. What are you doing?
Monthly beer. Monthly beer.
I think if I would drink beer, I would probably make it, but my time is devoted to coffee roasting. So
I think you should probably stick with one hobby that requires that level of dedication.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. What are your thoughts on coffee tasting similar to chocolate?
It can, most definitely. But the thing that I find is awesome about coffee is that if you find different origins have these different traits that come with, like, for example, a Guatemala coffee or a Nicaragua coffee is going to be more peanutty
Hmm.
than a coffee from Sumatra or Yemen, which tastes leathery.
Wow, I don't think I want that in my coffee. I'm not gonna lie. I'll go
Yeah, so right
for
now
the former.
I'm having a Colombian coffee right now that I roasted a couple of days ago. And actually, by chance, it has not only the tartness, but also that kind of astringent thing of really pure dark chocolate.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, when you have an 80% or even an 85, 90% dark chocolate, that it's bitter in a really nice way, but it's also dry almost, and it's almost a thing
Yes.
in the tongue.
Yep.
This particular Colombian that I'm having right now has a little bit of that. It also has to do because it's very fresh. I roasted it 2 days ago, and it kind of has that astringency. But some coffees, yeah, they can taste like dark chocolate for sure. Some coffees actually taste like milk chocolate. And if anybody out there is going, what crack is this dude smoking? It tastes like coffee.
No, the reason I ask is because my husband does not like coffee or chocolate, and I married him anyway, which is,
No
crazy. But
judgment, but
yeah, no judgment. No, he because he says they have similar flavors, which I do agree with. But I just, from a coffee roaster perspective, I wanted to get your take before coloring your opinion with that. Yeah, I know, right?
so, if you guys want to, if you or he feels adventurous, whenever you guys visit a place that has serious coffee, so you see a coffee roaster that has a cafe, if you're curious, try to go find a natural coffee. And when I say natural coffee, I don't mean like organic, but rather natural coffees are coffees that are fermented,
Oh,
meaning coffee, some people know, some people don't, is a cherry. So you go
hmm,
to a bush and you literally pick a cherry and it looks just like a cherry. And that the meat of the cherry, you in a few hours take it out with water, and the seed you dry, and the seed is what coffee is. But
yes.
natural coffee keeps the cherry intact for many, many hours and sometimes days, and it ferments.
Whoa.
And the fermentation makes it sweeter, and it makes it almost, imagine if you could marry coffee with strawberry quick. Strawberry.
Does not sound good at all. Why would
It,
anybody do? Oh God.
so
I'm sorry. Keep going. Continue. Sounds delicious.
so imagine just you have your coffee, but it's sweeter and it's kind of creamier in a way. It's smoother. So,
Okay.
don't just, I'm trying to have your husband not lose hope and faith.
I think he's fine. I think he is hopeful or, just doesn't care really. He drinks chai. All is not lost. He does have caffeine. If he didn't have caffeine, it would be, yeah,
Over. Yeah.
like you're a robot. I don't understand you. But no, he needs caffeine and other things.
Good.
Other things that are delicious. So all is not lost.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So we learned about coffee roasting and your dual personalities and how to, how to explore your native, get outside of where you are, I guess. That's such a cool idea, though. We all get so stuck, especially right now. I bet you're dying to just drive an hour anywhere.
I have to say that the first 2 weeks were rough. We're how many weeks in? 5, 6
Yeah.
ish, something like that. Laura, the first two were a little bit rough because, of course, you have this knee-jerk reaction of the things that you always do.
Yes.
But then I just sat myself down. All right, man. It's sometimes there are things that you can't do and really shouldn't do. And this happens in life all the time. If you travel to a different country and somebody says you shouldn't really drink the water because chances are, so only drink bottled water to be safe. You do it and it's all good. And you know that it's temporary. And if you don't do it, you chances are you might get sick, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I just, like I said, sat myself down and just went, all right, man, these are the things that right now you shouldn't be doing. And therefore you're not going to do because you're going to do your part. But let's go maybe explore the other cool things that you can do. And here, since we're on video, you can see it. But in the podcast, it's not going to sound like anything.
Right.
But the house is filled, and I mean filled with movies, which I
Wow.
love.
So I love that they're DVDs for those of you playing along at home. They're DVDs. They aren't, you're not going to Netflix. You're actually pulling a DVD out, which is an experience in and of itself, which my children just got introduced to. I mean, they've seen me do it before, but like the DVD player, is upstairs in this space, which is my playroom / office / studio and exercise room. My Peloton is over there.
Cool.
So the dragon, that's what I call it. Anyway, I sent them up here the other night. I was like, go pick out a DVD and watch it. And they were like, what is this for an object? And then my daughter just introduced her to CDs because I have my CDs that I released. And she's like, what do I do with this thing? And so, that's been good. But yeah, I've got a bunch of DVDs, but not that many. So we've been Netflixing and Ozarking.
Yeah. And then for people that have access to the world and more, here, because I love DVDs, the collection I think is up to the 5,000-ish.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And it's so between watching movies, checking in with family that I haven't checked in ages. I've been cooking up a storm. I made bread for the first time 2 days ago, and
nice.
The giddiness was otherworldly. So yeah, there's so many things that I that one can do that I go, oh, dude, I never have time to do. Well, here you go. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're kind of experiencing the opposite because our little people are here all the time. So everyone's like, oh, yeah, that was my favorite when it first happened. And they're like, you're gonna have all this time with your kids. So like make blanket forts and make s'mores in the living room and all this stuff. And I'm like, I have a job, like the job was a work from home job to begin with. And now it's a work from home job with 2 coworkers that have no, respect for personal space boundaries and or conference calls in progress. Video calls topless with, the 5-year-old comes in topless because she's getting dressed,
It's a little, I can envision how that's a little rough. My extent of me being able to relate is, as I told you before, because we have gone over this, but I had a lizard. We were roommates for about 6 years, and then that was my extent of cohabiting with another being.
Oh, so. The lizard story is my favorite. It's so tragic.
Felipe. Poor Felipe. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. But that was the extent of it. I hung with a lizard roommate for 6 years, and then too much responsibility, dude. I need my space.
I hear you. What is behind you in addition to the DVDs that looks like a tree of some sort?
It well, I'll have you know, it is half of a tree that is up on a tripod. I don't know if you can see that.
I saw that. Yes.
So the base is a sturdy camera tripod from the 50s.
Yes.
I found this really awkward out of a Tim Burton movie branch tree thing that, Laura, you see that it has, so on the right you see these branches.
It's stripped.
Yeah. But on the left it has all these leaves.
I know, it's cool.
So the leaves have been there. It has been there for 5 years.
Wow.
And
And the leaves have not fallen.
are still there. Yeah. There's a couple that I bumped into and they fell, but I promptly crazy glued them.
No, you did not. Wow.
But the other, 113 of them are there naturally. A couple of them are crazy.
Did you count the leaves?
I've had a lot of time in my hands.
On the tree?
Watch movies, I might
Oh, God.
count that. Yes. So
Yes, I do know. I keep track. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, on that note, I just noticed our sprinkler guy just walked up to the house. So my dog's probably about to go bananas. And I have another call in 7 minutes because that's my day. Is
Dun, dun, dun.
video calls that just don't end.
I hear you. But you're inspiring me because I said, "Are you sitting?" And you said, "No, I'm standing," and I'm sitting. And then I have started to wonder, how come my back is starting to? Oh, it's because I sit for 7 hours a day.
Yes. Yeah, I do have this really cool, I can't even show you because I'm all like attached to this. You can kind of. So this is like one level, and then there's a whole other level that holds my keyboard and everything.
Cool. Yeah.
And then it's not, it's just like a mechanical thing. So I could do this.
Wait, does it move? No. You have hydraulics, like hip hop.
It's not like lifted, but I think my husband's, he pushes a button and goes like, and raises. This one is a little more mechanically driven, just like a little oomph, but yeah.
But regardless, with your hands, you can do like a 90s Dr. Dre hip hop video. You bounce your debt. Whoa.
All happening.
Yeah. For you out there, for everybody at home not seeing this, I just yeah.
You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Without recording the Zoom call, I could taste these things.
Yeah.
Oh
train for the duck tour and the seasickness.
Yes.
Here.
You got to do the duck tour.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Oh, man. All right. So I'm going to stop recording. And that was that. That's how it ended. That beyond crazy, frenetic, hilarious, I find it hilarious interview. It just stopped. And I've been wanting to share it. And it was one of the first ones I ever did. I did one with my friend Molly Ruland as well, trying to figure out if I was going to do a podcast before I just said screw it and went live and, did one. Or not went live, but just did one. So is the sound quality great? No, it was done on a Zoom call, but you got to watch the YouTube video. So I'll post it in the description. And I processed it through some audio. So that's why you're hearing all kinds of squashed and squelched laugh tracks, because I was just laughing the whole time. So anyway, if you made it this far, you're the best. And I hope you'll keep listening and share it with a friend, because I really just love making this podcast for all of you. So have a wonderful rest of your week. And as always, thanks for listening.
Just call me honey. If you please, just call me baby. I'll be your fantasy. I need your loving. I can guarantee I'll be what you need. Just call me